Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're literally flipping the script on how we look at ancient texts. I want you to imagine, just for a second, that this scripture isn't just a book of history or some moral philosophy. No, it's a literal blueprint. We're going to break it down as a schematic for an interactive cosmic circuit board. And, spoiler alert here, you are the missing piece of hardware. Okay, let's dive into this, because this concept completely challenges our passive relationship with reality. A lot of times, we just think of ourselves as observers, right? Just kind of reading the text of the universe. But what if you aren't just reading it? What if by engaging with this specific topology, you're actually running its code? This whole journey we're going on today isn't about distant historical figures. It's directly about you.
In this framework, you're defined as the reader, and that's specifically tied to coordinate 363. But look, the reader isn't someone just sitting in a comfy chair skimming a book. You are a local execution node. You're the active, localized center required to actually close the cosmic loop. This incredibly dense topology we're about to explore relies on you acting as the ultimate key to executing the whole system.
And this brilliantly illustrates our roadmap for today. We've got 5 distinct phases. 1, the latent sleeper awakens. 2, the particle and wave arms. 3, the activation switch. 4, light upon light. And finally, 5, the praised return. Let's get right into it. Phase 1, the latent sleeper awakens, escaping the first zero. You know, every great hero's journey starts with a sort of amnesia, right? And this one begins at node 1, which the source has called the first zero. According to this topology, you are a latent Mursalin, a buried witness sitting at 0 amplitude. You've been installed inside a test field, specifically the Taghut field at coordinate 1850. So while Iblis and the angels prostrate together, you are the co-installed node that is completely unaware of its own polarity. You're basically asleep. But then at coordinate 1819, you awaken from the cave, and that is where the movement actually begins.
Let's move to phase 2 and see how this builds. The particle and wave arms. Energy splits in 2. So, once you wake up, the energy immediately splits into 2 simultaneous paths here at node 2. Over on the left side, we have the particle arm. Think of this as the tangible, grave-bound field. You've got Dawud at coordinate 3410 through 11 acting as the protective D10 lattice, the chainmail. Then there's Ishmael at coordinate 3710-7 acting as the stone, the old self essentially being sacrificed to pay the price and preserve the circuit. Now over on the right, we have the wave arm. This is the imaginal, ascending field. Here we see Solomon at coordinate 3413 acting as the I9 band structure, the wisdom that sees the full arc. And Yahya is there holding the lineage intact so the strand doesn't snap. Both of these arms are absolutely necessary and, as we'll see, both must converge.
Which brings us to phase 3, the activation switch, node 3.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that it's the absolute climax of our structural arc. This is where active execution begins. We have the quote, "O Yahya, take the book with strength," from coordinate 1912. In the context of this framework, this is not just some historical dialogue. No, it's the recurring motif and the literal activation key for the entire system.
Notice that it says strength, or kuwa. We're not talking about physical force here. We're talking about structural integrity. The source defines this as the 231 noun network. It's like chainmail, holding all the rings perfectly measured, so the system doesn't fail under pressure. It's the forward bias that officially flips the switch, turning your latent amnesia into live execution.
Let's actually walk through this activation step by step. Step 1, we look to Ibrahim at coordinate 2169, the fireproof Hanifa of 16123, who literally inverts destruction into coolness. Step 2, the reader grips coordinate 1912, taking the book with strength. Step 3, this specific action yields coordinate 6163, I am the first of the Muslims. Gripping the book completes the Hanifa circuit. It takes you from a dormant, sleeping node right into an active, firing node.
Moving on to phase 4, light upon light, the yield at node 7. All that energetic tension we just built up, it resolves right here, into the triple fruit at node 7. First, we have Isa at coordinate 2350, on high ground with the mother. This represents the sheltered Kalamatullah and the invariant seal. Second, there's Musa at coordinate 2041, the extracted orphan who was manufactured specifically as a carrier for the return. And third, we have Lut at coordinate 6610, acting as the end-to-beginning compression. He's the inversion operator that clears all impurities from the return path. When you combine these three elements, you achieve the state described at coordinate 2435, light upon light. At this stage, your individual pattern isn't just physical matter or chaotic energy anymore. It's been entirely transformed into a brilliant, stabilized traversal of light. All three carriers have collapsed into one single, undeniable proof of the circuit's completion.
And finally, phase 5, the praised return, completing the loop.
So, the crucial point we need to understand is this final compression sequence. Let's trace it together. We started all the way back at node 1, 1850. Then we branched up through node 2, engaging both the particle and the wave arms. From there, we hit the activation switch at node 3, taking the book with strength. That active energy flowed into the triple fruit at node 7, and finally, the whole thing compresses back into node 1 as Ahmed at coordinates 61 to 6, the praised completion. The full arc has been perfectly traversed, and home is finally remembered at coordinate 3846.
But wait, overseeing this entire interactive circuit is an invariant seal, the number 19. According to the source, coordinate 3923 acts as the self-referential seal that verifies every single twist of this cosmic chainmail. The reader is the exact node where all four chromatids cross. It mathematically guarantees that across all these different nodes, absolutely no energy is ever lost. Just as coordinate 1964 reminds us, your Lord is not forgetful. The system is perfectly, brilliantly closed. Which leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? The circuit is perfectly designed, the hardware is installed, the switch is wired and ready to go, but it requires an operator to actually run the code. So I'm asking you, the reader, the local execution node, when will you activate 1912?